Hi everybody, this is my Pelican Intruder. It has a 5-horse motor on the back, a Bixby up front, and today I'm bringing out my black lab and my white German shepherd, and for her I was thinking this could be her very last boat ride.
Let's see if I can do this without falling in. Alright, good. Good puppies.
Despite the fact that the white shepherd could barely stand at this point in her old age, and my own unsteadiness, I was able to push pull us away from the boat ramp out far enough that I could start the electric motor. Again, this little Bixby motor fits on the front of the Intruder very nicely, and it pushed us along nice and easy. I don't think I used the gas motor at all today, and this boat was rock solid. It took Jabs and Bayard and myself out to where I could do a little bit of fishing. Once I realized that everything was stable enough that, you know, even with Bay walking around and, well, Jabs was being a good girl. Once I established that, I figured, what the hell, I'll throw a lure out there and I'll do a little fishing while I'm out. And right away, I was onto some trout. Standing up front, even with these two dogs on board, not a problem at all. This was looking like a keeper trout. Bayard looked like he was a little fish hungry, but unfortunately, off the fish went. Sorry, Bay, no fish dinner tonight. He's a good boy. Well, it was a little breezy out here, so I eased us all back further up into some sheltered areas behind these mangrove islands. There was bait in the water, it was calm back here, it was beautiful. This was a perfect opportunity to enjoy some serenity with my wonderful pups, which was really what I was after.
Guys, I'm back out on the Intruder today, exploring, doing a little bit of fishing. I wanted to show you some of the other upgrades I've made to this boat. But the real reason I'm out here is I'm taking my white shepherd out for, this could be her last ride. She's getting kind of old, right, pup? Hmm? Yeah, she's getting very old. Jabberwocky's 15 now. Well, she will be in April. We've been through a lot together. Moving out of the house, moving onto the boat, traveling, starting the business, all that stuff. She's been there the whole time, kind of, you know, telling me what's important and what's not. It's funny how dogs can do that. Anyways, today I kind of want to talk about some of the important things that I've done to my boat. If you're like me and you like to take your pups out on the water, putting carpet down is very important. And you see I kind of just cut this out to the shape of the boat. There's nothing under the carpet, and it's perfectly fine. It spans those ribs on the floor of this boat and gives you something really solid to stand and walk on, especially if you have paws instead of feet. I did put a couple of screws in here. These are only deep enough to go into the first part of the hull, I hope. No, that's been there for quite some time. That's so it doesn't fly off while I'm driving down the road. And again, it kind of really locks it in there. But I had seats on this boat for a long time, and very recently I decided that I wanted to do something that was a little more low profile, simple, easy to walk around on, both for me and for the dogs.
Here you can see those seats that I was talking about. I actually made a disconnect. It's a quick disconnect. There's no lock, but there was no need for that. Just some starboard arranged in such a way, both here on the bench and here at the bottom of the swivel, so that I could slide it in and have seats if I wanted. These two pieces were going to be different accessories. For if I didn't want a seat and I wanted just a flat platform, these pieces of plywood were going to fit that bill. Now I just needed to attach this piece of starboard to that plywood, and for that I was going to need a spacer. Another piece of plywood would suffice very nicely. With this in hand, I brought it back, put it on top of the starboard, arranged it in such a position, like right there in the center, and the starboard stuck over the sides a little bit, which would lock it down. Simply adding a couple of screws that went through the whole deal, and I had myself a flat seat that I could put on and take off very easily. There it is. Now those screws stuck up a little bit, but I was thinking of padding this, but knocking off the little parts that were sticking up was not an issue at all. Now I just needed a couple pieces to help stabilize this. Fortunately, I had a lot of starboard left over from the initial build of this boat. Yes, this is the same boat that had 3 motors on it. I took some of those pieces of starboard, padded them out, and stuck them on the sides. These didn't have to stick over the edge like that centerpiece. They were just there to help, again, stabilize this piece of wood a little bit. Back piece was already done. This is the front piece, which was a little bigger, and it just snapped in there very nicely. Good and stable.
Now we just need cushions.
I ultimately decided on just carpet. Not the most soft thing on your butt. However, it was going to provide the stability for my pup's feet, which is what I was after, and it would also dry very quickly. If I went out on the water and they got wet, I would just leave them in the sun and they should dry very quickly, as opposed to having foam in there. With some staples and some glue, I wrapped it up just as you would do a Christmas present.
Yeah, these seats are working out really, really good. The pups have a good place for their paws if they want to walk around. He would do that a lot more than she would now, obviously. But even in her diminished state, she can still walk around and get around just fine on this boat. It's a testimony to the stability of the Pelican Intruder, that and putting carpet down for your beloved animals. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this push pole down. Got that in the ground.
The fact that I can push myself away from the boat ramp over skinny areas and use this thing as an anchor makes it a wonderful, versatile alternative to having a traditional anchor with you.
Water.
If you find yourself in shallow spots like I do very often.
Pelican's got some pretty groovy accessories nowadays. It's nice. It reminds me of, what was it, like the year 2001, I think I got myself a motorcycle. Kawasaki Drifter. Had the same styling as the old time Indians from like the 40s. Big fairing up front, beautiful bike. But it was the very first model they had ever put out, and there were 0 accessories. So you couldn't get a windshield, you couldn't get saddlebags, you couldn't get anything that, even a double seat. It had a single seat. If you wanted to bring a passenger, tough, too bad. Part of me liked the stubbornness of the company for having such boldness, both with the styling and the fact that they didn't have accessories. But it made me very jealous of companies like Harley Davidson, who have gobs and gobs of aftermarket accessories you can put on their bikes. And Pelican for the longest time has been just like that. And nowadays, I'd like to think partly due to my insistence and pushing and nagging, they have accessories available to everybody that they can use on their boats, which is great. You get yourself an amazing kayak or a small boat like this, and then, you know, they would lose you as a customer otherwise. And now they have stuff that they can offer you, like this push pole anchor, which right now the wind's, I'm behind an island, so it's not too bad. It don't seem to be going anywhere. Slack tide perhaps. But that thing will hold me really nice. It'll push me along when I'm too skinny to run the motor, which I think the motor's in the dirt right now, probably why I'm not going anywhere. So not only that, but you notice I got some water out of this bag. This is absolutely my favorite cooler. I've had it for a long time now, and it keeps stuff cold all day long. And it's got that shape to it where it'll fit behind your seat on a kayak. Anybody out there who's ever tried to bring a cooler along with them, either on a small boat or a kayak, knows how cumbersome it can be. It can really be in the way, right? That's why in the past I've always integrated rod holders into it and something to try to make it double duty, so it wasn't such a waste of space. This one fits here perfect. Right here in the back I've got plenty of room for PFD or PFDs. I've got little dealies like an extension handle for the motor and tackle and dry box, and there's still plenty of space back here for whatever I want to bring with me. Right, puppy? Oh my gosh. You're a good girl. Oh, easy. Breaks my heart to see the old girl in such shape. But I am very thankful to still have the ability to get out on the water and bring my pups with me. It means a lot. So thank you, Pelican, and thank you, pups, for still being with me. And thank you guys for watching. In the future, I might just do another video about this boat, perhaps about the trailer, which has made getting this on the water super easy. Even though it could fit in the back of a full-size pickup truck with no big deal, having the trailer is really a game changer and makes it a lot more feasible for me to just say, you know what, it's really beautiful, I'm going to go out on the water, and you know what, I'm going to take my pups with me too. So yeah, great boat, great trailer, and yeah, it makes video making for me pretty easy. That's a good boy. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Well guys, it is with a very heavy heart that I want to announce that my white German Shepherd named Jabberwocky, who came to me in September of 2010, had to be put down 3 days after the filming of this episode due to complications of bone cancer. It's been tough. I will miss her very much. Sorry. It's just a reminder to everybody that take those opportunities when you can to get them on the water, to pet them on the head, to not just enjoy the quiet times with your pets, but with your family members, all of your loved ones. Because life is a motherfucker sometimes, and you don't know when they're going to be taken away from you. Anyways, yeah. You might see old Jabs in some of my future videos, but it's because I've got some projects that I've already filmed that I want to share with you guys. I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. I'm going to share the good, the bad, the ugly, everything with you. Thanks as always for being with me. See you around.